Within 1 kilometer to 2 MRT stations and 2 popular schools, which I can almost see them from here.
7 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, and huge space you can view both inside out.
Stay tuned to find out more about this undervalued freehold house in this episode of Huttons Landed Division's
Live Open House.
Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Huttons Landed Division's Live Open House, where we at HLD carefully select some of the most interesting and value for money houses on sale in Singapore. Now today we are at District 19 Lin Gardens, which is just off Upper Paya Lebar Road. Now one thing that's interesting for this estate is that in the last two transactions, right, within the last 1 year, transactions have actually crossed not just $2,000 per square feet, but actually $2,200 per square feet.
One of the reasons for these high prices is due to its convenient location. Okay, within 1 kilometer to Serangoon MRT, NEX Mall, Bartley MRT, and also a short drive to amenities at Hougang, Paya Lebar and Serangoon, and hence convenient and time saving for daily necessities and activities.
This part of Northeast region is also 1 kilometer to 2 primary schools and 4 secondary schools. Some of the popular schools such as Stella Pri, Methodist girls schools and St. Gabriel's. Most of these schools are also affiliated, meaning to say parents can enjoy 10 years of stable proximity once they enroll their children in these schools.
Yep, that's right. So now that you know the popularity, why this place is popular with a lot of buyers looking for houses in the Northeast, let's come back to today's house, right? So we've seen $2,000, $2,200. How much do you think is the price of the house that we're going to feature today? Now, granted, of course, it's going to be a much larger house, we have seen from the introduction video. But even though it's larger, where PSF is suspected to be lower, how much lower do you think should be at the price point where people feel attractive? 1,008, 1,006, right? 1,005, right? That's what if we tell you the house we're going to feature later is under 1,004. It's 13XXpsf per square feet. And stay tuned towards the end, right? Because we're going to review actually the last offer as well as the potential closing price that will make, I think, these two numbers just now even more of a shocker and therefore more value for money for our buyers. Yeah.
So how does this house, especially selected with a land size of about 5,000 square feet, 7 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, really look like?
What's more, if you have a bigger family and wants to move to a bigger and larger, well-renovated unit, stay tuned. We'll just show you in a few seconds.
Yeah, let's go. All right, now we are in front of the house. The first thing to take note of is unit number. All right, this is number 1 at this Paya Lebar walk. So if you're a number lover, you notice how basically being number 1 gives you a certain kind of a prestige, right, or premiumness. And importantly, you look at the building now. All right, this building was rebuilt 2008 compared to all the other houses, most of the other houses in the neighborhood, including those that were transacted earlier. This is a much newer, much modern building that we can see later. The land size, Irene, you were saying is?
Land size is 4,918, 4,918.
And the build-up is more than 4,600 square feet. And that later we'll show you, it does not include actually a lot of the space. Okay? So remember you said we want to be authentic. So one of the things I think we also want to highlight also, by the way, we have actually done 2 weeks of open houses here. Have quite a number of viewers have come, and there are some actually downsides of this house which we want to be very transparent to you and let you know. First thing I think Jason was saying,
Yep, limited parking over here because it's a solid white line, so actually parking at your own risk for visitors as well. But nevertheless, there's still public car park over there, right opposite, where visitors can park their car.
But more importantly, once you walk past this gate, okay, as the camera follow us, you can see, I don't think parking is an issue, right? When the owners were staying here, look at the amount of space, right? 4,000 steps. Actually, from one glance, just from the entrance, you can see towards the entire length of the entire house already, right? Spanning almost, basically at the widest point is almost 15 meters, right? 15 meters. So here, you can park 3 cars if
Comfortably.
yep. Very, very comfortably,
Yes,
right?
definitely.
Correct.
So for those who don't want, you can see now we have all this tiled up patio space. From here, if you want to use this, you can. If not, you want to, because one of the buyers who came actually have 6 cars, right? He finds it very difficult to find a landed property that can park 6
Yes,
cars
definitely.
properly.
Yes.
So you can park 2, 3, 4 here, and then
5,
the
6.
family cars on that side, right? So patio, do you like the patio?
Yep, we do. So alternatively, if you do not have so many cars, you can convert this area to a swimming pool. So we have visuals of saying swimming pool at this area, which is perfect for kids or even perfect for weather. But now these days, it's very, very hot. You can take a dip in the pool to cool yourself down. Yep.
For garden lovers, obviously, a lot of landed upgraders now, besides having built up space, they also want to have garden space, right? So we are now standing, I think I like the way that it is separated. You can use this first as a patio, right? As an extension of the living area, which I'll show you in a while. Notice these are all floor to ceiling, right? And of course, with a shelters now, if you want to, you can also do your retractable awning, etc. But yet, the garden is still untouched, all right? Besides the pool, which from what Jason has proposed, the pool, by the way, can be here, can also be the upper
At the back,
side as well. Now, this is how big I think the house is. You have the front part, this is about 2/3, and then you still have another 1/3 on that side.
Even after doing your pool here, you can still do your garden space at the back.
Correct.
Okay, if you don't want to do an in-ground pool, you can do a deck pool right at the back. So
Correct.
as and when, if you think you don't want to put anymore, you can just remove it because it's a deck pool.
Right. Now, coming to, I think, some of common, let's say, concern by some of the buyers is that, to be honest, nothing to hide. We are now basically quite close, right, to the main road. Nothing how you can see on this side. But this can be, you already seen some trees, how the trees have actually helped to cover up, provided a shield, more for, not just for privacy, sound insulation, etc. So in the proposal, I think Jason has shown you, you can take a look at this again. Easily, you can just plant another row of trees here. I think not only does it serve this functional purpose, but it also helps to beautify and give this house a more resort look like. Right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. To show the second or the 1/3 of the house, you can come up to here. This, frankly, if I don't tell you the second half, you will think this is the full garden of any house.
Yes,
any
correct.
landed owner will be very envious to have a big garden patch like
Yes.
this.
Yep. So you can convert this to your herb area. We can plant some plants, herbs for your kitchen, daily use, cooking use. Yeah. So moreover, there's plenty of space around here for you to play around with, be it herbs, swimming pool, parking lot.
Maybe koi pond also.
Yes.
That's also once you will have basically the few things. But usually when you have a koi pond, you can have a swimming pool. Swimming pool, you can have a koi pond. Now you can have a pool
That's
there,
both worlds.
and a koi
And a
pond there,
pond.
Yeah.
and your parking is still not affected. All right, that's what basically almost 5,000 square feet of land can bring you. Okay, you have seen 1, 2, 3 parts. That's not the end. Okay,
Yes.
The back part.
Let's move on.
Yes. Just massive, and this, by the way, episode can feature all 3 of us at the same time with lots of space, you can see. Right, this is all the top part. Okay, and now also at this point, you can also the camera can span how tall, again, I'll get a glimpse of how tall this building is. Rebuilt already all the way to 3 stories like that. But besides that, they left a lot of open space here, right? A lot of open space here. So here, again, for whatever activities we mentioned earlier, can be held here. Okay, can even do, like Jason said, got kids, right? You can even do a small basketball court.
Yeah, basketball court, bouncy castle.
Pickleball is very popular now, frankly.
Yes.
When measured, you can actually do pickleball your own place on this side, okay, do your sports or whatever. But if not, this space, because it has not been maximized yet, and that's the kind of a beauty. It's a flaw, all right, to some, because it's not maximized to a certain extent, but it's also a advantage because it allows you to then customize what you want to do. So from here, you know the setback is just 2 meters, like where almost Jason is standing. If you look at the visual now, right, later we'll explore and explain a bit further, you can actually push this out, right, all the way to here and create not 1 but actually 2 rooms, even if you want to. Later, once we're inside, we'll explain to you more. But what is important here is to notice we are the first house that, can you see the amount of airspace they have with from the neighbors, which is even more evident once we got to level 2 and level 3.
Yep, correct.
All right, so here again, a lot of space. Later, you can start to design and start to, of course, come up with some ideas of your own. All right, discuss with your family and then let us know. By the way, this is a live show. If there's any question at this point of time, feel free just put inside the comments, and our production team probably will pass it to us and we'll answer to you on the spot. Okay, so
Yep.
let's now try to go back and
Get back.
see. I'm sure you're curious to see how the interior space is like. I already mentioned 4,006 just now, 4,639 square feet. But bear in mind, I think we're very technical in that. Actually, only covers the tile areas. If you probably buy this from a developer, they'll also include the garden space. We have not included the garden space.
Yeah.
If we include the garden space, you will exceed
5,000.
5,008, or even 6,000 square feet. Once all this becomes pool area and usable space. So that's how much
Yes.
built up area you're going to potentially get, right? Again,
Yep.
the price, 1,300 plus per square feet. We have to keep emphasizing this
Yes.
because a lot of people keeps coming back to this on the price. Okay, so this is the car porch already sheltered. So let's see what we have inside.
Okay, let's see.
Right, so living room.
So once we enter, we are greeted by the living room itself. So the previous owner actually segregate the living and dining area with a glass, so that let's say you are entertaining in the living room, you will not disturb the guests at the dining area. But yet at the same time, it's glass, it's transparent, so you're able to see the activities, what's going on between the living room as well as dining area. Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
correct. I think the first thing we notice here is very boxy, very high ceiling. This is about
Yes.
3.4, 3.5 meters. Okay, so this is just living. To some new houses now, it's a living and a
And dining,
Yeah,
yes.
So it's segregated. I'll be honest, there are some comments who say they prefer not to have the glass panel. It can be
Easily
Easily
removed.
removed.
because it's
Yeah.
right? But importantly is the amount of light that comes through. These are all floor to ceiling windows, right? You can see. So you can see from our design perspective that we have come up with. You can put a sitting area here, TV console, etc. More than enough space. Really
Yep.
more than enough space.
Yes.
And the beautiful part of it is you can actually change this. Personally, what I'll do, I will tile all this because there's a lot of tiles. I can do this as a deck, right? Once you deck with the zip trap blinds, this is an extended living area that I mentioned earlier. So it makes your place look even
bigger.
So you kind of have like 2 layers of living space because nowadays people sometimes they want to be outside. Of course, when the weather gets hot, you want to stay indoors and comfortably air conditioned, right? Like the way we are, all right? And what do we have beyond this glass wall?
Beyond this glass door will be the dining area. So Irene, would you like to show?
So here actually is a very good size dining area. I believe you can easily put in maybe 8 to 10 seater
Yeah.
comfortably, which is not very common, right?
Yes,
in most
correct.
of the landed houses.
Yes. You
that we
also have the same floor to ceiling, right? The same access to your garden and the patio. We have a little swing here on the side to give you an idea. But you can easily have an outdoor alfresco dining quite comfortably, indoor, outdoor, because behind this is the kitchen, which I'll show you in a while, right? But the important thing, I don't know whether you have noticed here, is there's a huge, huge air well. All right, if the camera can pan up, you've seen from the visuals, this is easily the number one thing, all right, if not the top 3 that a lot of the buyers or viewers will come. They really like this, right? It gives you really the sense of airiness, spaciousness, the scale of the building, right? Unlike most, if not frankly, in our database, most houses at 1,300 square feet, you're going to get 2-story houses. You have to tear down, you rebuild. Even you get a renovated house,
Yes.
there are houses built 30, 40, 50 years with very low ceiling. This has a new house kind of feel because it's rebuilt, and the sense and the height of the ceiling and this area is amazing.
That's the favorite part.
Yes,
of this,
yeah, correct.
my favorite part of this house.
Correct. And of course, where I'm standing here, later you'll start to see, we also show you from level 2. When you have a big air well, what do? What is the most popular things that people are asking for now?
Lift.
Yes. So this lift proposal that you can see comfortably is where I stand. It's now basically a concrete one. It can be glass as well. It brings you all the way to level 2, level 3, even to level 4 if you want to. And because it just occupies a small corner, it does not basically affect the rest of the floor.
Yes.
Right? This house also, again, Jason the family man likes it. There's a lot of storage, right? Starting with. Yeah.
Okay, so before we head on to the back, so this is a storage area that we have right underneath the stairs. So typically,
All the way.
Yeah, all the way. Yeah, take a look. So usually it's just half of the staircase, but this is stretched all the way, right? From
Yes.
end to end.
End.
So for me, family man, with 2 kids, a lot of things, I can just put
I think
air.
for you, one storeroom not enough. Let's show you another one.
There's another one.
I really can show the second
Yes.
one. Having a bomb shelter is indication, right, of the basically the age or newness of the house. So this one also has another bomb shelter as well. Right?
It has
So you
a
look
bomb
at that.
shelter as well for additional storage space.
Yes.
You can actually easily put in your travel luggages here,
Yes.
or your golf sets for people who play golf,
And the fact
bicycles.
that it's just
Yes.
opposite basically the kitchen. I think it's good. Can be another pantry, wine cellar, etc. Right? Now coming to functionality, now let's start to explore the bedrooms and the bathroom. Starting with a powder room like this. Okay, if you take a look at this, Yes, this is not brand new, okay, it's what, 17 years ago, but at that point of time, I think the tiles features, design use is, I think, considered very modern according to the many viewers to come, right? They're quite, many of them are quite happy.
Yes.
Of course, you change your this WC, your shower fittings, etc. But by and large, the space, the natural ventilation, and the tiles generally, right? They are all still quite modern.
Yes.
Okay.
Very minor renovation needed.
Yes.
As in any even brand new house, you need to do some minor works.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we come to the kitchen. I think Irene's very favorite part.
She likes to cook.
Yes. Okay, so this is actually a very sizable, good kitchen, and you can see actually there are windows which allows actually ventilation if you are into heavy cooking, right? So storages here is only half, so you can actually extend more storage in this kitchen. The potential is always
when
there.
we first come in, we thought there's no fridge. Actually, there's a fridge.
Yeah, there's already a fridge.
Second fridge, third fridge.
You want to have second fridge. Yeah.
You can have a coffee making counter here.
Or even a freezer, you know, to store for big families. They have a lot of storage, right? For freezer is good.
A common compliment made by a lot of buyers is the ceiling is, again, very, very high. So I think when you cook, okay, I don't cook. I think Irene say, does it make you feel happier when you cook with a high ceiling?
Of course, especially so big.
Amount of light, etc. Right?
Yeah.
And then I think one thing that's good is also linked to the wet kitchen.
Yes, also linked to the wet kitchen. So wet kitchen, again, look at it, is like so huge, you know, because here normally most of the wet kitchen is only like maybe about half the size, but this is like an L shape.
Correct.
So you still can have your basin, your wash area, preparation area over there.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct. And this one, again, the connectivity of this house is really functional because just right out here, you are then back to the garden. This is the third part of the outdoor space, right? Where the first part, second, third, and before you go to the fourth part. Here, again, you can create, use this as an extension of the kitchen. You can put your washing area here if you want to, but personally, because it's very well connected to the patios on this side, this could be another extended patio, right? If not alfresco, nothing. Maybe putting you on chairs here, looking at, just now we were saying, a nice fish koi pond, right? Just in front of you, maybe husband while waiting for the food can sit here. Okay, enjoy the smell that's coming out, etc. So really, you can see how while there's a lot of space, both outdoors, indoors, I like the fact that they're very well interconnected. Yeah, very well connected in a sense. Okay, now mention the house has 7 rooms. How are they placed? Okay, first, especially for multi-generation families, if you have elderly folk or you just want to have one room on the first floor, Jason is going to start to show you the first room here.
Yep. So the first room we have, another one will be the granny's room. So it's actually very sizable. And you put a king size bed over here, and you have still plenty of space for cabinet, your wardrobe, your dressing table.
Yes.
And not forgetting, you also come with an attached bathroom.
Yes. And this is not for guests, huh? Guests have one there already. So this is just for, if you have elderly folks staying, you'll be very comfortable.
It's an ensuite room.
Yes. Talk about carpentry. It's true that some of the viewers are saying this is a bit so-called original, a bit more traditional because after all it's been 15, 17 years. If you look at the photos that we have here now, all right, you can easily just replace this. Key thing is they like the space, the layout, high ceiling once again, fittings, lightings. Every room, by the way, there's a fan as well. All right, so all these minor renovation are simple. On this note now, we want to also explain to you for this episode, we're going to tell you 2 different types, all right, of renovation. One is basically for, and this is really based on the real feedback of the buyers to come. Many are just happy the way it is. They just want to do light renovation. Right, light reno, we just say enhancement. We just want to do some personal touch-up. The second type is what we call transformation. All right, transformation meaning that you really have, because you're going to get so much savings in terms of the price, that 1,300 per square feet, you have extra budget, all right, you can actually do a lot more things. Starting with now, she's going to show you the extension at the back that we're going to talk about.
Extension at the back. So you have options whether you want extend this room to a much bigger living room with the helper right at the side. So that is self-sufficient. So actually, when the owners are overseas, she can access the whole unit from the outside.
Yes, correct. The actual space you can see from here, I'm going to physically stand here now, right? This is the 2 meter setback. This is the, can you see the shelter here? The extra space is going to be from here all the way to here. All right, this is more than 500 square feet of extra incremental space that you're going to get. So yeah, so based on the floor plan Jason has shown earlier, you take a second look. Yes, you can do this way. I think it's a very good layout. Yeah. The granny's on the side because you still have open space here. The helper's room is on this side. Yeah. Right, helper's on. And if you really want to go to the touch the transform button here, you can also take a look. From the kitchen that we saw earlier, we're going to bring you back to the front again. We can actually modernize the kitchen by breaking it up if you want to see. All right, you remember where the kitchen was? So this is actually Irene's idea. She likes to have an open kitchen concept. So in that plan, we're actually going to push this, all right, break this down, and make this the start of the dry kitchen. If you look at the visual again, right, where the lift was, the dry kitchen will be here, and then behind will be the wet kitchen. But this space is going to be quite big anyway. So when they do that, then you can have a wet kitchen and help us from at the back. Which means what, Irene, when you cook, you can see the whole house.
Yes.
Right?
I will
and
do
it's
that.
elevated.
Yeah.
She likes to cook higher than the rest, for example. This is elevated on that side. Then you can then see through the entire house with the airwell just in front of you. Okay? And this note also, of course, there are some old folks, some buyers will come say, oh, there are many steps here. Granted, but don't forget we have a big slope, big open space. You can easily just do a ramp by the side, especially for, let's say, elderly folk. They can just do a ramp, easy access all the way to the granary.
Yes.
And don't forget we have a lift. So the lift from this first floor, which is flat, it can bring you to every part of the house. Yes, correct. Right now, talking about every part of the house, are you now ready to take a look at level 2, 3, and 4? Right?
Yes, let's go.
Take a look. Come.
Oh, let's come to level 2.
Oh, the stairs are very long.
So, but with many steps, actually, you know, in landed property, the more steps you have means what? The
High
ceiling.
Yes.
Yes. Come, have a look at this room. What do you think of the size?
It's pretty spacious, so nevertheless, king size able to fit in easily. At the same time, take a look at the view.
Take a look at the view and also take a look at the floor to ceiling glass windows that allows natural light to come in.
All right.
Yes.
Remember we said earlier, again transparently, right? We are actually quite near to the main road, and these are not double glazed windows. So you can feel it makes a lot of difference with the windows basically closed, which is anyway the position that you'll be anyway when you sleep at night with the aircon on, in a sense, right?
Yes.
So also one comment that some buyers have said when they come, they say, hey, there's a non-residential building in front. You can take a look at the side. But do you notice that's actually better than having a landed house, right?
Yes.
Because the front of this building is actually very open parking space. So if I were to open this, I can tell you, by the way, the house is not south-facing. This is facing southwards. Now this is the actual sound, nothing to hide, you can hear. But the key thing that we appreciate is the wind flow that comes in through here is a lot better, so to speak, in a sense. But of course, again, with a bit of budget, depending on whether you want to enhance or to transform, you can choose to just change the windows if you want to. Right? But now you can see how bright the place is. This, I think what I really say is, do you know this is not the only room? We actually have 2 of such rooms.
Yes.
We have 2 of such master bedroom concept that comes with a
ensuite
bathroom on that side. Okay, so if you like the families, because this house, a lot of people have called us, they are actually 3-generation families. 2 couples, a lot have 2 couples. So when you just give them 1 master, may not be enough. Or 1 junior. Some families even have 3 couples because they are growing children. So this could be one of the 2 rooms that you can.
Correct.
All right. What's outside this? Let's take a look. Okay, so we have seen just now caught a glimpse of the airwell, but I think besides the airwell, owner have done a very smart extension. You can see that the layout here, there's actually a landing first.
Yep, correct. So this can be converted to a family area where you can enjoy TV, entertainment, or even a study room or study table or a working place over
Even
here.
though this is 2-story instead of 3 stories, you can instantly feel, I think, how much bigger, wider, spacious compared to normal conventional house. All right, and if you come and spend here, we call this the bridges, right? The linkways are very interesting because they add a very interesting architectural angle, all right, touch to it that you don't see about many houses. Okay, and of course, this is where the lift shaft is going to be if you choose to add a lift. All right, conveniently, this lift does not affect any of the bedrooms, any of the 7 bedrooms you see. So lift shaft is just going to come here. To visualize, you can take a look at the visual here. All right, lift shafts is here. We can actually cover up the entire place. That means this whole floor will be entirely covered up and usable,
Yes.
right? Usable, and then you still have a double volume ceiling here, right? But the space doesn't end here because Jason likes the outdoor space, right?
Yes, that's right.
See.
Let's take a look outside. So what's beyond the family area will be a balcony. So this area, what's behind us actually is the bridge itself. So what I like is not it's a bridge, okay? It's not facing any home. It gives you privacy. At the same time, the bridge is also covered up. So there's no one looking or peeping into the house if they're passing by.
Yeah. We highlight this again transparently. People follow our tours because we showcase both the good and bad, right? So some people, oh, it's just beside a bridge, they're a bit concerned. So we now angle, just show you. You can't see anything. Nobody can come through.
Yeah,
it's a special LTA treatment that they've done so that people walk there can't see. And like what Jason said, much better than facing another house, right?
Yes.
So this balcony is actually very wide. You can leave it open the way it is, but you can also, if you refer to the proposal that we have here, even without doing too much, you can actually do an extension here and do the zip track and make this a lot more usable.
Yes.
Right? A lot more usable. Again, this extended living space concept of this house comes through again.
Yes.
Right? What I do like, if you come here, wow, you can see you can see your garden, whatever you choose to do here. Whether is it a pool, garden, car park, children playing, guest entertainment, etc., barbecue, etc. You can see very clearly from this side. Okay, very clearly from this side. Of course, with more trees planted, with already the current trees here, it gives you a lot of privacy. Okay. Talking about trees, you can also look at the proposal. If you want to have some more privacy, the line of trees, row of trees here is based on the visual here. So basically, when you come here, you can't even see the bridge.
Yep.
Yes.
It's a 2-story tree, right? So all you look at is just your own little forest.
Yes.
Own little forest resort.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's see what's the other 2 rooms.
So before we reach the other 2 rooms, over here will be the common bathroom.
Very useful
outside.
because if you're going to entertain here, I think it's good to have a bathroom here,
Yes,
right?
correct.
And
So-
we not only have 1, we have 2 rooms.
Yep. So for the room, first room over here, actually you can convert the common bathroom to a Jack and Jill. So this will be an ensuite itself. So likewise, spaceable, very spacious. You're able to put a queen size bed over here. So what's more for this room, you also connect with a balcony outside.
This wrap-around balcony is really quite intelligent because
Yes.
it helps to create a space. The space doesn't just end here. By the way, if you look at the back now, okay, we are a very, very big distance, very, very comfortable space to the next neighbor. And if you notice here, this is towards the back. So there's always this constant airflow. That's why this house always very windy.
Windy.
Very, very windy.
Yeah.
In fact, frankly, if not for this shoot, we normally don't even switch on the aircon.
Yep,
There's
correct.
no need
Yes.
for that. But this balcony is interesting because if you follow Jason now, it actually skirts all the way to just now the first balcony we saw.
The front part.
All right?
Yep.
Okay, so if you adopt the concept or just leave it open, I think this usable space becomes a lot more enhanced, and with some creativity, etc. I think the house or the room looks a lot more interesting.
Yep.
Whoever chooses to
Yes.
occupy here.
Correct.
Right. Talking about the occupant again, multi-generation family. Beside, you can just keep. If you have 2 young children, the 2 children can share 1 bathroom here. If not, you can open the door like what Jason said, right?
Yep.
Another way is to actually combine these 2 rooms together. Let us show you the second room first before we take a look, because this is actually a significantly sizable area, reminiscent of actually the first master bedroom that we saw. Do you see the dimensions here? Right, very spacious. This is more than basically 3 meters apart.
Yep.
From the length, very regular shape. The roll of carpentry all in front. One thing I like about this kind of layout is then you have still 1 full wall,
Yep.
for you to do things. Most rooms that you see now, the wardrobes are actually by the side, and then you are sleeping kind of beside it. So here you can choose to do that, or if not, all your utilities and wardrobe storage area are all here. So what I said earlier about combining the 2 together, if you take a look at wall, this wall you can break down, combine. This plus that is going to give you almost a 400 square feet. All right, huge master bedroom. If you choose not to face the front, or some say, oh, I want to sleep facing the north, because behind is north facing, right? It's north facing. Okay, so far we talk about the light. Maybe I think you can switch off the lights.
Yep. Have a look.
Jokingly, we say we have the most useless lights in this house because we switch off the lights now. All right, we're also going to do the same thing outside. Why? Because it is just very, very bright. All these lights are switched off now. I think you can save quite a lot of the electricity staying in this house. Right? Am I right? Okay. So now we have covered basically 2nd floor all together. 1 room plus 4 rooms already.
Yes.
That's not the end, right?
Yes.
We have one more layer. Basically altogether the 3rd floor. What is on the 3rd floor? Is it the same? You will find out in a couple of minutes. Okay. So let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
level 3. Okay, so because the cameraman is entering. Now remember we said there are 2 of such rooms. This is the second one, second master of such sort. You would have asked me between first and second one, I prefer this one because it's higher floor.
Definitely.
Look at the view, right? So Jason, you can pull up.
Sorry.
All the way up. This is actually the windows are very, you can really see the sky. No buildings in front of you. All right, for buyers who actually like privacy. By the way, you notice the cars, by the way, they are driving away from us. All right, nobody's going to stop and turn and look at us in a certain way. So I think this clear big windows here, I think really makes the place a lot brighter. Yeah. Okay, so you have 2 couples in the family. This is the second room. Or you have children who want to grow up already, start a family, or just young adult. I think this is a very comfortable space for them. Okay, so if you pull back now, and by the way, this is also ensuite right by the side. Okay, I want to bring your attention to this part. Okay, so you notice there's a small gap here. Very interestingly. Now, the reason for this, if you look at the facade, right, is the developer then was building this, was trying to make this look less like a corner terrace, but more like a detached house. So created this little gap here. While of course now we appreciate the fact that it brings in a lot of natural light. Alright, if you want the 2 rooms downstairs to basically be bigger, and via the transformation concept, right, via recon, this part can actually be pushed to here, meaning that you can remove the wall, this can be covered up, and enlarge the rooms further. If you look at the plan now, both the 2 master bedrooms here, right? So increasing, I think making the already quite sizable master bedrooms even larger.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, while walking towards the other 2 rooms, I pretty like the corridor over here because of the air well actually makes this corridor very spacious and bright. So actually lights are not really on, so it's not dark at all.
Yes, correct. I think that this bridge that we call, either you keep it open the way it is, or even with this lift shaft coming up, you still can keep this part, more than half of this still open. Right, which is the interesting element of this house, the natural light that comes in, etc. So I think this will really help to maintain and enhance, even though you put a lift shaft on this side. Okay. Now, one thing to note about the so-called high ceiling windows. This might be a negative point. Some buyers have mentioned, "Oh, really, it's very difficult to clean, etc." Agree. Okay, agree. By the way, those who know me, I also stay in a house with 6 meters high ceiling. I only clean them once a year, so to speak. Okay, but you can still use leather, etc. Get professionals to help to clean it on the spot. The good thing is these are all fixed already, so there's no need. Dust, everything doesn't come in a sense. All right. So just to let you know, it's a objection or obstacle that can be overcome quite easily. All right. So if you proceed on to the 2 rooms.
Not only that, you see, separated by this long walkway, right, means to say that this room and the previous room will have its own privacy. So you're not like right next to each other. Come on in. This is another ensuite room. Okay, ensuite room, and this room itself will be a little bit different from the one we saw earlier downstairs. This one doesn't have a balcony.
But nevertheless, you can still fit in a queen size bed comfortably with your dresser table, cabinet, as well as study table if you need. Correct.
But both sides we have got very good windows, and then is a very good ventilation.
Yep.
Have a look at the bathroom.
Ensuite bathroom.
Yeah, it's an ensuite bathroom. It's a pretty good size ones.
Yeah, a lot of natural ventilation as well, right? Windows. Now, the last room on this floor is quite unique. Okay, you can see here. It's actually now demarcated into 2 parts. Okay, there's a smaller part here. It's actually meant to be the study area. And then again, the owner likes to actually cordon off. Remember the sliding doors just out of the glass wall. This is actually another open space, which in the past was used as a bedroom. Okay, very, very bright room. Again, we are on the 3rd floor now. Our visibility, just now we could only show a bit and it was being blocked by some of the houses. If you look here now, you can see really, really far. This is our almost permanent view, right, on this side. With this, by the way, we're going to give you a bit of a preview on what's going to see on the 4th floor. This is, we are now at Paya area. In this estate, the landed zoning is basically you can go up to 3 stories. 3-story mixed housing means that you can go up to 3.5, just like the house there, meaning that your height can be 15 meters. All right, compared to other parts of District 19, many parts of it actually 2 stories of it. So effectively, you already get 25% more space already. That's one of the reasons why a lot of buyers like to seek better value for the very expensive land, right, that you are getting. So now we are going for basically good land price, PSF, and yet now we give you the maximum building. So there's really a lot of so-called values. All right. Now coming back to this room, another idea that we have, you look at the view, this proposal now, if you step back, remember the room that we saw just now, this can be knocked through, and that means these two rooms can be combined into. Now, these are really for buyers who come and they say, no, I already have two, one master, one junior. They want to have three. Right, 3 ensuite bedrooms. So if you pull back, you can see here, these two rooms can actually be combined into one because the bathroom is already inside.
Yep.
Right. You notice the way the architect has designed this is very functional. You don't need an open bathroom because this is meant to be an open space. Right. Whereas downstairs there is a bathroom that's meant for the family area. So if you combine this together, are we lacking rooms? No, you still have 6 plus 1.
Yeah.
We have 7
More than
plus 1. You still have 6 plus 1 rooms in a sense, right? So, and because this one is just a dry wall, you can knock it down even without submission. That can be done.
Yep.
All right. So at this point, we have covered basically 1, 2, and 3. Now let's go to level 4 together. Okay. So the same staircase here, again very brightly lit. And unlike the other house just now we saw, you notice our description of this house is a 3-story plus roof terrace. I think we're very honest, complete about it. A lot of descriptions that we see online, they will describe this as a 3.5 story. Okay, but let's come out here and you will understand. Okay. First, just pan and look at the view. All right, just look at the view. All right, it's no house nearby. Okay, you can see almost this the entire Bartley estate.
Bartley,
Yes.
Jason at the beginning of the video have showed you, point out basically behind this is NEX.
Yep,
Serangoon, Stella there,
Stella.
PMGS on the side. Everything you can almost see from here. All right. The downside for this is because it's not built up yet.
It's not
It's an
sheltered.
open space. Okay, it's an open space.
Yes.
But
So here-
nevertheless, if you wish to convert this into an entertainment room with the
Yeah.
visuals, you're able to do so to fully utilize the roof terrace and it's not wasted.
Yeah, even as a roof terrace, there are some people who like it open. You can basically extend this shelter, make
Entertainment
create
room.
more shelter. Then you might want outdoor space. You may just want to have either gardening, barbecue, etc. for some families because we already have a lot of rooms. But like what Jason said, in our transformation, reconstruction plan, now this whole area that we actually use to scale, this will be the size of the entertainment room.
Yes.
This entertainment room is not just a room, am I right?
Yes.
What's inside?
It has got a attached bathroom.
Right, attached bathroom, and the lift shaft can actually come
come up
all
here.
the way up here. So this lift, if you want to do, since you're doing 3 stories, might as well go to
All
level
the
4.
way.
Yes.
So from your guest, from level 1, you can go straight all the way to level
the
4
attic.
and come up to here. All right. So outside of this, if you were to do this, then outside you still have this huge space at the back.
Can
Which
do
you can
your
store-
larger gatherings, barbecue here, right? So that you have some outdoor space rather than just all indoor.
Yes, there's also power. There's a water supply, so you can easily do basically a sink if you want to on this side, then make it into a small pantry. There's also electrical supply, you can see from this side as well. So if I can do some shelter, make it into a small outdoor pantry,
Yes.
this space is very useful. The only preference is whether you want to face the north or face the south,
South.
right? There's a lot of possibilities that you can do to this space. Okay?
Alternatively, if you do not, if you think that the gardening area is not enough, you can convert this
Yeah, that's
into
true.
a
Into
roof,
your-
rooftop
roof garden.
gardening area
Yes.
with the water hose over here.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's everything you can look
Yeah,
for.
that's true. Yeah, ample sunlight. And not forgetting now that you notice we are the highest point of that. By the way, how it will potentially look like if I were to borrow the
House
neighbor
at the
as a
back.
reference. Okay, you can see this will be a legal operation. Some people think we are doing things basically without approval. Everything will be submitted with approval, and you can have a 4th proper story like what we have shown
Yes.
and proposed. All right, with a high floor like this, a lot of buyers may also opt for this solar panels if you
Yep.
want to.
Yes.
Since there's no building, no trees, whatever covering you, be ensured that you will be getting a lot
A lot of
of sun
sunlight
from
throughout the day.
from
Yeah.
both way front, the side, etc. And then it helps to save on electricity bills
Yes.
as well. All right. So how do you find this 4th floor? If are you a roof terrace owner, land owner, etc.? What are your thoughts on this house? Before we conclude this part of the home tour, you can key in some of your comments, and we'll try to answer you right before the end of the show or even after the show. Right. We'll come to basically almost the end of the house tour. Let's now go back to 1st floor again to do a quick summary. All right, shall we? Let's go.
Let's go.
Now touring this very big house, Jason, Irene, which are your favorite parts?
Ladies first.
Okay, my favorite part is the large airwell, which gives a very spaciousness view and also the natural lighting coming through from the side windows and the doors.
That's true. Something that you don't really get in
Yes.
even many of the brand new houses nowadays,
Yes.
right? Yeah, Jason?
Okay, for myself, I love the outdoor space because I have young children. They can spend their time outdoor, run around, expend their energy so that they can sleep better at night. And at the same time, close proximity to amenities as well as public transport. So I don't have to worry if they come home by bus or public transport after school.
That's true. I can imagine how much time you as parents will save, right? If you
Yes.
stay at this location, right? So besides the schools, everything. Now, for me, I think it's the customizable flexibility.
Yes.
You have seen, of course, the house is really built up with lots of space. But I think through the whole episode, you have seen how the house can still be further enhanced and customized according to every family's needs. Whether you're a small family, 2-generation, you don't need so many rooms, or you're a multi-generation
Yes.
families. I think there's a lot of things that you can still do to the house, which is because the build-up is really there, right? It's not something that a lot of houses can provide now. We don't have to go through like extensive rebuild, tearing down, etc.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, by the way, using this, we also want to take this opportunity to now also show our appreciation to our long-term partner, CT Smart Homes, which are, I think, responsible for bringing all our crazy renovation ideas to life in the form of all the visuals they have seen earlier. So
Yes.
if you want their contact number, just remember to give us a call.
Yes.
All right. Now we have almost come towards the end, but before that is also to highlight to our viewers out there that a very important event is coming up, which is our quarterly 2025 Quarter 2 Landed Market Analysis webinar. This is a very highly sought after one,
Yes.
and this time round we're going to showcase what has happened in the last 3 months and the impact of whatever that's happening globally, locally has affected the landed market. So stay tuned to watch on the 15th of July, Tuesday, 8 to 10 p.m.
Yes.
Right? Now we have almost come to the end of the
boss,
house tour.
Before we end, there's
Yes.
something we want to mention. So perhaps
This
Willy's-
is live, what you're trying to do.
Sorry. Perhaps Willy is too
Yes.
humble to share about this.
Yes.
So we are
Okay.
featured on H Prop.
Just last month is a special feature on Willy, who is our landed prince, and also our management team, who are the dukes of the landed husband and
Very
future.
interesting name HPOP has given us, but
Do take some time to read this
Yeah.
article
Yes.
to get to know more about HLD, how the management,
That's
the
true.
ICs as well as the consultant works.
yeah, more importantly about teammates, okay, like Irene and Jason and the entire team, okay, to get to know, and you've seen our uniform. Next time you see this uniform, I hope you have a better understanding
Yes.
on how this special team has
Yes.
is operating and has performed. Okay.
Yes.
Now, guys, can we really end this now?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Of course,
Okay, so
no more surprises. Yeah.
okay, once again, you know this happens once a month, so we look forward, of course, to seeing you next month as well. And what house are we going to choose that is special, unique, and of course, like this house, value for money, which although I think it's a bit difficult to beat at this point of time,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
But just stay tuned. Once again, my name is Willy.
I'm Jason.
I'm Irene.
See you at the next episode of Huttons Landed Divisions
Live open house.